Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Stefan coming at you live from, well not live from my editing suite, but I was just in Berlin. Official travel partner, that's right, Berlin, Germany. This place, let me tell you, blew my mind. Before we get into this beautiful montage I made for you guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, do it. Alright Berlin, so I went there for 2 weeks and I'm going to break down the top 15 things I did. This isn't like a top 15 best of or anything, this is just like what I did and what I think you should check out if you ever find yourself in this amazing city. First up, you absolutely, and I mean absolutely, have to go to the Brandenburg Gate. This thing is iconic, like seriously, it's been in movies, TV shows, you name it. Standing there looking at this massive structure, you can actually feel the history like it's oozing out of the stone. You can practically hear the echoes of all the people who walked through there before you. Crazy, right? And don't even get me started on the architecture. The details, the design, it's mind-blowing. I'm talking next-level craftsmanship. It's no wonder this thing is like the symbol of Berlin. Make sure you go at night too, because they light it up and it's a whole different vibe. From one historical landmark to another, we're going to the Berlin Wall Memorial. This place is heavy, guys, like emotionally heavy. You're standing there looking at this wall, knowing what it represented, the division, the fear. It's intense. You can actually walk along sections of the wall, see the guard towers, and there's this documentation center you can go to. It tells the whole story, how it went up, how it came down, all the people who tried to escape. It's powerful stuff. It's not just about the past, though. The Berlin Wall Memorial is a powerful reminder of the importance of freedom and unity. It's a reminder that we should never take our freedom for granted. Seriously, if you're in Berlin, put this at the top of your list. Alright, let's switch gears for a second and talk about Museum Island. If you're an art history nerd like me, this place is like Disneyland. You've got 5 world-class museums all in one place. 5. You've got the Pergamon, the Neues Museum, the Altes Museum, the Bode Museum, and the Alte National Gallery. Each one is packed with incredible artifacts and masterpieces. I spent like an entire day here and barely scratched the surface. Seriously, you could spend a week on Museum Island and still not see everything. My advice? Pick 1 or 2 museums that really interest you and take your time exploring them. Don't try to do it all in one go, you'll just end up overwhelmed. Next up, we're heading to the East Side Gallery, which is basically an open-air art gallery on a preserved section of the Berlin Wall. It's over 1 kilometer long and covered in these incredible murals. You've got everything from political statements to abstract designs, and it's all super thought-provoking. You can feel the raw emotion that went into these pieces. It's a powerful reminder of the city's past, but it's also a celebration of freedom and creativity. Plus, it's just really cool to see. Make sure you get some good photos here, but also take some time to just soak it all in. It's an experience you won't forget. Now, let's talk about the Berlin Cathedral. This thing is massive, and I mean massive. The dome is absolutely iconic, and it dominates the skyline. You can actually climb to the top of it, and the view from up there is insane. I'm talking panoramic views of all of Berlin, but even if you don't go inside, the exterior of the cathedral is worth checking out. The architecture is incredible, all these intricate details and sculptures. Make sure you get some good photos, because this is one for the gram for sure. All right, time to dive back into some history. Checkpoint Charlie, this was one of the most famous crossing points between East and West Berlin during the Cold War. It was a tense time, guys. Today, you can still see the guardhouse and the sandbags, and there are even actors dressed up as soldiers. It might seem a little touristy, but it's still a powerful reminder of the city's divided past. There's also a museum nearby where you can learn more about the history of Checkpoint Charlie and the Cold War. It's definitely worth checking out if you want to get the full picture. Next up, let's head to Alexanderplatz, which is basically like the Times Square of Berlin. It's this huge public square, always bustling with people, and there's always something going on. You've got street performers, vendors selling souvenirs, and a ton of shops and restaurants. Plus, it's a major transportation hub, so it's easy to get to from anywhere in the city. Make sure you check out the World Clock and the Fernsehturm TV tower while you're there. Oh, and grab a currywurst from one of the street vendors. It's a Berlin staple. Okay, let's switch gears again and talk about something a little more, shall we say, elegant, the Charlottenburg Palace. This place is beautiful, like seriously stunning. It was built in the 17th century for Sophie Charlotte, the wife of Elector Frederick III. The palace gardens are amazing too. They're huge, and you can easily spend a couple of hours just wandering around, admiring the fountains and sculptures. If you're into history or architecture, or if you just want to see how the other half lived, definitely add Charlottenburg Palace to your list. Back to Museum Island for this one, because we have to talk about the Pergamon Museum. This place houses some of the most impressive ancient artifacts in the world. I'm talking massive structures like the Ishtar Gate of Babylon and the Pergamon altar. It's insane. Seeing these massive structures reconstructed inside a museum is mind-blowing. You feel like you've stepped back in time. Seriously, this place is a must-see for anyone interested in ancient history. All right, time for a little break from all the history and museums. Let's head to Tiergarten Park, which is basically Berlin's Central Park. It's huge, with tons of trees, lakes, and walking paths. You can rent a boat and go for a paddle on the lake, have a picnic in the grass, or just relax and enjoy the peace and quiet. It's the perfect place to escape the hustle and bustle of the city for a few hours. Keep an eye out for the statues and monuments scattered throughout the park. There's even a beer garden where you can grab a drink and a bite to eat. Next up, we're going to Potsdamer Platz, which is a great example of Berlin's modern architecture. It used to be a no-man's land during the Cold War, but now it's a bustling commercial center with skyscrapers, shopping malls, and entertainment complexes. Make sure you check out the Sony Center, which has this really cool futuristic design. There's also a bunch of restaurants and cafes in the area, so it's a good place to grab a bite to eat. All right, remember that TV tower I mentioned earlier, the one you can see from pretty much anywhere in the city? Well, we're going to the top of it. The view from up there is incredible, especially at night when the city is all lit up. You can see everything from up there. The Brandenburg Gate, the Reichstag building, the TV tower. There's also a revolving restaurant at the top, so you can enjoy a meal with a 360-degree view of the city. Just make sure you book in advance because it gets busy. This one is heavy, guys. The Holocaust Memorial is a powerful and moving tribute to the 6 million Jews who were murdered by the Nazis during World War II. It's made up of over 2,700 concrete slabs of varying heights, arranged in a grid pattern on a sloping field. It's designed to make you feel lost and disoriented, which is supposed to reflect the feeling of the victims. It's a tough place to visit, but it's an important one. It's a reminder of the horrors of the past and the importance of fighting against intolerance and hatred. Next up, we're going to the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, which is a really unique and moving sight. The original church was heavily damaged during World War II, but instead of tearing it down, they decided to keep the ruins as a reminder of the war. They built a new church next to the ruins, and the contrast between the two is really striking. The old church is a reminder of the destruction of war, while the new church is a symbol of hope and rebuilding. It's a powerful place, and it's definitely worth checking out. And last but not least, we're going to the Berlin Zoo, which is one of the oldest and largest zoos in Germany. They've got over 1,500 different species of animals from all over the world. You can easily spend a whole day here checking out the different exhibits. They've got everything from lions and tigers to penguins and polar bears. It's a great place to visit for families or for anyone who loves animals. So there you have it, my top 15 things to do in Berlin. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more travel vlogs. Berlin is an amazing city with so much to offer, from history and culture to food and nightlife. I know I barely scratched the surface in this video, but hopefully it gave you some ideas for your own trip. And hey, if you've been to Berlin, let me know what your favorite things to do are in the comments below. I'm always down for some travel recommendations. Until next time, peace out.